Hey, what is up guys? Massive here, back with another awesome game on Tournament Odyssey. This game I'm going to be playing as the ZOCOM. Once upon a time, one of the weakest factions in Kane's Wrath, especially versus Nod factions, which I'm up against today. I'm going to be versus Black Hand. I'm going to be playing as the ZOCOM. Classic map as well, Tournament Odyssey. Tournament Bike Buggy, as what it was known as back in the day by Green Zero. Known for that, for the simple reason that it's great for fast attack units. There's plenty of open space to maneuver Bike Buggy around. And with that tip core upgrade, it's a lethal unit as well. Very effective versus harvesters and practically any sort of unit that ZOCOM can make. But I'm going to attempt it this game with ZOCOM. One thing going for ZOCOM is the harvesters have rockets on them, which gives them decent defense against bikes. A lot of players just let their harvesters die, but what you can do with ZOCOM is just order your harvesters to attack the enemy bikes, and they will, in most cases, get a few rockets off on those bikes and take them out. Just letting them die is a mistake. Also, harvesters only require $1,000 of XP to rank up as well. So if you kill 2 bikes, you only need to kill 3 bikes, I think, to get an XP on your harvester. Because I think in Tiberium Wars they were only $1,000, and they never changed the XP required to rank up. Which is fair, because how often do you see harvesters promoting? Not too often. In the case of Skrin, never, because they have no means of actually gaining veterancy. They have no way to kill units. Never seen a veteran veteran Nod harvester or veteran reckoner before. 2 units that technically can crush infantry, but they never seem to crush enough to get promoted. So I'm making it look like I'm rig rushing in this game by sending Riflemen's into Senna's expansion. I'm going to dig a foxhole here, and he's seen this time and time again. He's going to expect me to rig rush, so he has to go for that buggy scout to reveal what I'm up to. He may already have a scout on my base, so that's why he's confidently macroing away in this particular game. But I'm not going for any rig. Sometimes I like to do that. Rig's pretty weak to cannon damage, which is what laser turrets inflict. And these Cabals, man, like, if you leave them unchecked, they're going to do damage to your power plants. In this case here, forcing me to repair that one. That's going to consume some resources of mine, but not really a big deal at this point. And my strategy in this game is much like the strategy I employed versus Rex when he played Nod. I'm going to go for Predator tanks. He's spamming Bike Buggy, I'm going Predators. And behind this I'll go Hammerheads too. But not a lot of them. Just enough Hammerheads to reveal the map. I want to see where his army is so I can position my slower units. I don't want to go out of position. At this time though, I'm going to have to disperse my Predator tanks across my base, because those bikes are gathering up in numbers, and I do not have the forces, I think, to defend that off. It's going to be a tricky engagement for me, especially if he uses the decoy army. But I am now pumping out some shadow attacks, so one miss micro and those bikes will take huge losses. He's going to engage the Predator tank. Does not commit into the Shatterer, which is wise. A couple bikes go down there to that Shatterer shot. So that Shatterer already paying off, and I'm going to go for now these infantry upgrades. Originally I was intending to go for aircraft, but upon seeing him committing fully into Bike Buggy, I deem infantry is the way to go. I'm going to get that Tiberium field suit upgrade. It's only $1,000 for the ZOCOM faction. We've got a couple tanks in my expansion to defend off against these Bike Buggies. This is really the problem with Predator tanks. They do not have the maneuverability to defend. And these bikes have not yet committed to killing my harvesters. They're going for the Predator tanks. Could have killed a harvester there, but if he had chosen that, then the Predator tanks would have lived, and I would have had an army larger than the one I have here engaging him. Anyway, shadow tanks are moving in. There's a sniper team mixed in too, because I thought he'd go infantry. Shadow tanks amazing versus infantry, but they can't quite kill the black disciples. That's where the snipers come in. I can kill them in one shot with the sniper teams. MCV falls right away. In this patch, you cannot use the laser fencing if the structure is below 66% health. Shadow attacks, getting some shots off on these obelisks. I even fire off the overload beam in an attempt to save my shadows, but the other obelisk in the back there taking out that veteran shadower, which got some shots off on his bikes earlier. I'm going to pull back from this because I feel he's going to have the charged particle beam upgrade online anytime soon, but he obviously chose to get the tip core first, which is the right move, because ZOCOM, man, they're going to go infantry, aircraft. They're not going to build infantry most of the time. So here are the bikes, and as expected, tip core is now online. Harvesters are pretty exposed, and just as I mentioned in the beginning of the game, the harvesters, if I move them in to the enemy bikes, they can deal damage, and I kill several of his bikes in the process, limiting the losses of my harvesters. Granted, I am going to lose most of them, but I was able to deal with that threat nicely. I've got resources in the tank to recover, and I see an Armageddon bomb. This is probably a tip vapor bomb. Narrowly, that harvester escapes it. I summon in the sonic repulsion field. That sniper team's still alive, so if he goes infantry, he's going to get some nice shots off on them. And it's not an easy sniper team to counter either, because buggies won't be able to get in there with the shadowers and predator tanks. Plus, he doesn't have cloaking field. Only Nod and Kane get that, so he can't just one-click this inf army away. This is an advantage of going for infantry as ZOCOM, but only if you can prevent your opponent from getting an MCV forward to deploy those turrets. Turrets very effective nowadays with that quad turret upgrade. And I'm just going to harass this expansion. I'm going to sit here with this army of units. I've got a mix of everything. And only now, after seeing those bikes die, am I going to go for the aircraft transition. My goal here is to use the ZOCOM walkers to snipe his MCV over the ramp, prevent him from ever getting a foothold established in my base, which technically is his. I've got a small army heading towards my natural expansion, which I never took. So he's going to have to remove me off of his field. He's got to purify some infantry moving up. And I unfortunately missed this MCV. Now, he does not know I have aircraft. He still assumes I'm going in spam, so he's going to be queuing shredder turrets at this point. I put some damage on this MCV. And this army of infantry is getting thinned out here. I have to be very careful that I don't get raged by this Redeemer. It's inevitable, but I want to try and minimize the losses. It's mostly the Shadow tanks that are going to kill me, so I have to remove those out of the fray while that rage gen fires off. I'm going to accept that I'm going to get hit by a rage. More reinforcements coming in for me. Shredder turrets as well. ZOCOM walkers moving in. I'm going to use them against the infantry, not against the Redeemer. This is pointless. That Redeemer has too much health. So it'd be wise of me to just target down these infantry forces. Keep my predator tanks alive. That Redeemer, it takes 2 shots to kill a single predator tank. I can DPS down the Redeemer quicker than it can DPS down me. Sure, these charged particle beam shredder turrets are annoying, but those are just tickling away at the health of those predator tanks. ZOCOM walkers have already reloaded. He should have by now put down a double A turret. Watchtower spam is a thing for me too. Orcas coming in. Again, I'm using them against infantry. A very versatile unit for ZOCOM. You can use them to bomb structures. You can use them to take out vehicles. And you can also use them as anti-infantry. In this case, I'm mixing it around, and this time I went for the Redeemer. This time, the Redeemer took a lot of damage. It's going to be forced back. But if he chooses to fall back, it's going to take 15% rear damage in the process, allowing these Predator tanks to finish him off. Orcas now have the ceramic armor upgrade online. Go for this double A turret, quickly take that one out, prevent him from taking out my ZOCOM Orcas. Those have done their job, but he's not removed yet from this field. He's long leeching Tiberium. I'm bringing in resources directly by having these two refineries established. My second field has also regrown quite a bit, so I can gather some resources there. His as well, so neither one of us have a lack of Tiberium at this point, but I believe I'm bringing in more. He's long leeching. And he has to make a difficult choice. Does he go for shredder turrets or double A? I've got a lot of riflemen here, so if he didn't make these turrets, the riflemen would have decimated his infantry and the Predator tanks would have had no answer. And besides, I would have targeted down his SAM turrets the moment I see them come down. He captured the defensive tower, so that's mildly annoying, but this MCV, once that's taken out, he's not going to have ground control here, and he's no longer going to be able to place down base defenses. I go for the Hand of Knots. I don't want him to build up more infantry on this field. AP ammo is very effective, and you can see no Juggernauts. Does not matter. I have ZOCOM Orcas. Those are essentially fulfilling the role of a Juggernaut in this game. In this game, I feel like they're doing an even better job than Juggernauts, because Juggernauts without a Marv typically don't do a lot of damage. In this case here, I have the Predator tanks and no tier 3 unit, and I'm taking on a Black Hand player which has full tech, all of his upgrades, yet the ZOCOM mid-game prevails. Now it's technically not the end of the game just yet. Senna does not want to give in, and I'm going to put down this Reclamator hub, establish this Marv in the field here. Orcas in danger. I don't imagine he's got any more bikes, so I'm going to flank this base, try and find some harvesters of his. And I'm going to select one of the ZOCOM Orcas so I don't unnecessarily waste munition on these units, because they have to go back to base and reload. He's microing it around, but I got it anyways. He's going to go for the harvester, but it was a heavy price to pay. Decoy army comes down. Marv imminently about to come out. He's only got infantry, and the ZOCOM Orcas just took all of it out. Again, you don't need Juggernauts as ZOCOM. You can substitute it with ZOCOM Orcas. And tier 2 is the way to go for sure. I base contained him. I took out that first initial MCV. And that was it. He lost that one there. Could not do a whole lot about it. Those bikes were taken out. He went for my harvesters, but then didn't follow it up with more bikes. He committed to this double MCV strategy, which I was able to stop promptly. And then from there on out, I kept on making Predator tanks, and it worked out. Preds have a lot of armor, and when you combine that with AP ammo towers, assuming your opponent has no artillery, it should be enough to take your opponent out. And even there, we saw he didn't have a Redeemer. I was without an epic unit. He had his, but it was not enough. So yeah, guys, even in this asymmetrical situation for ZOCOM, you can still find other ways to win. It's not always the case that you have to build artillery to counter it. Anyways, thank you very much guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. And before I go, I'd like to thank my patrons for supporting me and keeping this game and channel alive. Anyways, this is it from me, Master Leaf. Peace out.